Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us for the Customizing Culture podcast. I'm your host, Jared Barbosa, and today I'm in a special location with a special guest. We're here with Wes Tate from Bella Canvas. Wes, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for coming out to visit.
Dude, thank you so much for hosting us. We're going to get into it, of course, but dude, I've had the most incredible time here.
Good.
Just seeing the factory, having my mind blown like at least 4 different times today.
Awesome. Love that.
Yeah, so it's been great. Do me a favor, for all of our viewers who might not know who you are, can you just kind of let everybody know what you do here, get a little bit about your background?
Sure, absolutely. I'm the content marketing manager here at Bella Canvas. I've been here for 3 years. Before that, I was at a print-on-demand company for 4 years. And then before that, I was a print-on-demand customer. So I actually started on one end and have gone all the way through to now I'm on the complete opposite end.
So you know the full spectrum about garments and your customers. You know it all.
I know the pain points and the victories on like all sides all the way through. So yeah.
Very cool. Now, so a lot of people watching this already know Bella Canvas as like, oh yeah, the T-shirt people. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of came into today a little bit on the same note. It's like Bella Canvas, the T-shirt people. But what I'm kind of finding out, what I did find out today, and what I hope a lot of people kind of get from this podcast, is that you guys are just so much more than that. It runs so much deeper than here, T-shirt.
Right.
But before we dive into like your process and everything, can you give us a little bit of history about the company?
Sure, yeah. So like you mentioned, Bella Canvas, we're a premium wholesale manufacturer, if you haven't heard of us. So we focus on premium blanks for creatives and businesses, entrepreneurs, all alike to be able to use our product as a blank canvas to put whatever they need or want on it. So it's really cool to get to be that piece to someone else's dreams, you know? It's also really cool because our owners are high school best friends, and
that's cool.
They started as garage screen printers, so they know all about that side of the business and the industry, and so much of our apparel runs through the doors of decorators. They know what those needs are and what the pain points are for them. So yeah, they started there. At the time, there was no women's wholesale apparel. I mean, there was women's wholesale apparel, but it wasn't actually manufactured for women. We call it shrink it and pink it. So they just
Wait, so I explained to them what that means.
Yeah. So shrink it and pink it. They just took the men's style, shrunk it down, relabeled it to women's sizes, put some feminine colors on it, and like, oh, this is our women's wholesale line. So they saw that was a need in the industry. So we started Bella. And that was
about 98 or so?
It was about 98 when they started screen printing in 92. 98 was when Bella first came to be, because they had started manufacturing women's clothes for major retailers like Gap and Banana Republic.
Okay.
And then their screen print customers were like, I need women's shirts. I don't want these. I want what you're making for these other companies. So they're like, okay, so here we go. So Bella started as a women's wholesale line, the first true women's clothing in wholesale. That was successful, and then a few years later they started Canvas, which was the men's and unisex line. And then a couple of years later they married the two, and that's why you get Bella Canvas now.
Got it. And just to be clear, so in case anybody was on the same mind train of thought as I was, it's not like Mr. Bill Bella and Bob Canvas, right? It's not names.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. So that's it. And that's why there's a plus sign there. So it's a little nod to our history.
Dude, that's really cool, and I love how it was like birthed like out of a need,
right?
Because some people like they you see an industry and it's like okay, we're just gonna dip our toes under there, see what's going on. But what's really unique and what I think really shows itself in the quality of the product is like they knew what they wanted and they knew what they needed, and they like built something to fulfill that. I think that's fascinating, man.
Yeah, and it is even like manufactured to the fiber for printing because of their background of
that. What do you mean by that, to the fiber?
Oh yeah, sure. So we use long staple cotton, and so this is an exaggeration, but picture it's like this big, and then you have short staple cotton, which is like this. And so in comparison, that's what you get. And even when that's being woven together, you picture like a rope that's been kind of braided together. If you have the short staple cotton, there's more loose ends that are going to be sticking out.
Oh, it's like that rough, kind of scratchy.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
And then you have our long staple cotton. So when that gets woven together, you have less loose ends sticking out, which creates a smoother surface, both for feel, but then when you're printing, you have less fibers sticking out. So if you go through your closet now and pick up like a t-shirt you got for free at a fun run or whatever event, you can look at it and you can see the fibers of the shirt sticking out through the print, maybe on the edges. And then if you look at a shirt like Bella Canvas, you're not really going to see that. There'll be some because it's a physical material. It's going to happen, you know, but it's going to be a pretty big difference there.
So like the premium quality, it's very intentional. Just from what I was able to gather in our quick tour. Can you kind of talk to us through what's the chain, like what's the life cycle? How does it, you know, we're going from cotton to these beautiful t-shirts and other items that we see behind us. Like, can you talk to us about that path, that journey?
Like you mentioned, intentionality is throughout the whole process, from planning what color. We have over 300 colors, which is insane.
Yeah.
But those are all very intentional. And even when you look at like a gradient of colors, when we're producing new colors, it's like where they fit in that line of that. We have this color and this color. What about the people that need one in between? And so that's kind of like where we're at, very intentional. Same thing with the sizing that we have. A lot of companies will, the standard historic route is that you make a size medium and then you scale it up and down for whatever size.
I'm not a fan of that. Yeah. As a XX and XXX wearer, I don't like that. Yeah.
It's really problematic because just because you need an XL doesn't mean that you need the sleeve to go super long. So it gets really out of shape and disproportionate.
Yeah.
At Bella Canvas, we size every single size on a fit model. So we have a human being. Yes,
wow.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes.
So that way we're making sure, like, okay, someone wearing a 2X, they don't need a sleeve that comes down to here. Like, we can still proportion everything correctly. So again, intentionality there. Like the shirt fibers we talked about, the types of cotton, where it's sourced. And even the way we treat our employees, it's all very intentional. It's a pretty great place to be.
Yeah. So, man, so the cotton, once it's been, you know, harvested and like spun, that's not really the end. It goes into, you guys dye it yourself. Basically, you guys do everything yourselves, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible. Can you kind of walk us through the journey? Let's like kind of keep going through the journey of a t-shirt.
Yeah. So when it gets woven and put together from cotton into a fabric form, we receive it as what's called grayage goods.
It's a new word for me today.
Yeah, it's a natural color. We even have a color natural in our offering that kind of looks close to it. Or if you picture a canvas tote bag, it's kind of like that color. And then we go through dyeing. We do the majority of our dyeing right here in Los Angeles. And so that's really great. It helps us keep track of everything. And then even being here in LA, we already have the strictest water regulations in the US placed on us.
Yeah.
So it's just another step that helps us. Like, I don't think anyone would choose to let's go. You know what? LA has really strict rules. Let's dye there.
Right.
Doing the majority of our dyeing here, it keeps us in a very environmentally friendly state, just because of the nature of having a business in Los Angeles and the steps that has to be taken to purify the water before it goes back into the waterways. Mm-hmm. So we do the dyeing here. It comes to our cutting floor in Los Angeles. We do the cutting here, where you get to see we cut out all the little individual pieces.
That was insane.
It's like looking at a massive puzzle set.
Yeah.
And then it goes from there and gets sewn at one of our sewing facilities. The majority of it's done in Nicaragua or Honduras, where we own those sewing facilities. So they're Bella Canvas run and operated facilities there.
Got it. So it's not like subcontracted anybody. Like, it's you.
Yes, it's us. So we took those on, and that's really great. Helps with the supply chain. A few years ago, when other companies were running into supply issues, we didn't really have those because, again, it was our facility, which also plays a big role in how we're able to treat and make sure like our employees there are being taken care of.
That's really important, and I'm glad you brought that up. Because there's other companies, and again, we're not naming names. We're not in that business, but not everybody takes care of their employees, and not everybody even sources from subcontracts from
Right.
By the time you get all the way down the chain, there's unfortunately people who are kind of like being exploited, and you guys take extraordinary steps to not partake in any of that.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's really cool. Our facilities in Nicaragua, I don't want to say a percentage because I don't know, but a majority of those get free transportation to work, where we have shuttles that will go into like the city center or the neighborhoods and be able to get them to work safely and without having to spend their own money on public transportation or walking. There's a doctor and nurse on site there, so they can also receive medical care there and not have to worry about trying to take time off work, or how are they even going to get to a doctor.
How are they going to afford a doctor?
How are they going to afford a doctor? Yeah. So it's really cool, the stuff they have going on down there in those facilities. So
wow.
Yeah.
It's like really taking care of the people.
Yeah, it
really
is. Yeah, we're trying to focus on like people first manufacturing, and that's going to be a story that we tell a little bit more in the next year or so. So you'll get to see more footage and stories coming out of those facilities.
I love that. And one thing I might have mentioned it on the tour, but one thing that struck me is, as we're going through the facility here in Los Angeles, is how many humans there were.
Yeah.
You know, like we see the automations, of course, which you know, as you described, keeps everything nice and tight, minimizes waste, makes for a better product.
Yeah.
And what happens, unfortunately, in manufacturing, you see a lot of, as soon as automation comes in, humans go out.
Right.
You guys have taken a lot of care to keep humans here, you know, keep jobs here in the U.S., and I think it's really commendable.
Yeah, it's really cool. We have over 1,000 jobs right here in the U.S., and we do have a crazy automated facility here.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's not. They're all of that technology is still being human run. It's just little things. I mean, it's not little, but it's it's
little $1 million things.
$1 million things. But just having like a fabric spreader to help the human roll it out versus them having to walk miles back and forth a day rolling this fabric out. And same thing with the cutting machine. There's still people operating that, but the cutting machine is just getting us a more accurate cut, so that way your sizing is all going to be the same, and it's not done by hand with a protective metal glove that looks like it's from the mid-century or like Middle Ages, you know. It's crazy. But
man, I don't want to just turn this podcast into a complete recap of the tour, which would be very easy for me because I was very impressed by it. But another thing I noticed is you guys have a real big commitment to like consistency in products overall. Can you just expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, consistency is key. Anyone out there running a business, that's a huge concern. Even when I was doing print on demand, that was like the biggest concern people have, is making sure that if a customer orders this shirt and then a month later someone orders this shirt, or if it comes out of this facility versus this facility, you want to make sure it's the same product.
Yeah.
And we go through crazy lengths to make sure that that is happening. And that's through the whole process, from getting the fabric woven together. When it gets to the dye house, they're always making sure that they have the right formula to be able to dye your 3001 Navy this month is the same as the 3001 Navy 5 months from now, a year from now. And then even then, after they do that QC, it comes here to our cutting floor where they do another color step for QC. So everything, and then it's just as exhaustive of a QC process on the cutting. Before they even cut it, they make sure someone has to go through and make sure that the pattern that's about to get cut is correct, and then someone else is checking to make sure that's correct after it gets cut. So there's constant stages to make sure that we have a consistent color, fit, and cut all the time.
There's some talk out there, right? When I say some talk, there's YouTube videos out there, man, where it's like, oh, well, who cares about ballast? Save your money, you know, add to your bottom line. And I'll just say this, ballast canvas is not that expensive, guys.
Right.
But such a good price for what you're getting.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's people who might say, well, why would I spend an extra $1 on a shirt if I'm doing it, if I'm doing 10,000 shirts, you know, a year, why am I going to spend an extra $10,000? As someone who's been there, right, can you kind of explain like some of the key points of why someone would just want to spend a little bit extra for a ballast canvas? Yeah,
well, there's a lot of different answers to that depending on who you are and what your need is out of the whole ecosystem of a t-shirt. So I'll start with the end consumer. If you are paying a little bit more for a premium product, it is going to get worn more. It is going to be the favorite shirt. So let's say I'm doing I'm hosting a charity event, and I pay bottom dollar throwaway t-shirt.
We all have those.
We all have them.
Yeah.
the person will. I've been at events where the shirt has not left the event. It's in the trash can on the way out.
Geez.
You know,
Yep,
people
yep.
wait in line. I got the free shirt. It is not good.
You touch it and you're like, oh,
you throw it
I
away.
wouldn't even wash my car with this.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's one scenario.
Yeah.
Let's say it does make it out. Maybe they wear it once more, and they wear it to a trip to the supermarket, and 10 people see it. Well, you paid however much to get this shirt seen by 10 individuals, and then they probably won't wear it again, or it becomes the at-home shirt or the laundry day shirt or the sleep shirt. And
The dog bed shirt.
Yeah. But you have a shirt that now feels good. It fits good because it's been fit on a human body, and now they wear it 10 times out, and 10 people sees it each time. So think about your cost per impression as a business owner. Your buck is going further. So if that was a charity event, now they get to wear it out and about. People see it. People get to see your logo. They can search it. They can have that conversation. So that's really important.
Yeah.
And then to step it up to not just charity, but if you're a coffee shop, music, like
Yes.
you want your logo out in public as much as possible, and that's only going to happen if it is a quality product that someone is going to want to wear.
Right.
So
T-shirts are kind of like little billboards.
it is. It
Yeah.
totally is. It's a big billboard for people. So that's one aspect of it. From the decorating aspect of it,
Yeah.
we'd like to talk about how it costs the same to order, to print, to ship, to do the labor. So from that side of the business, if you pick a premium shirt, you then can charge more for it than you could if it's just a throwaway shirt. And now you're making more money off of the same amount of work that you would use. So why would you not go with the better quality product that you can charge more for?
Yeah.
So there's lots of, depending on who you are, there is an appropriate reason for why you should go for a premium blank. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's kind of for the greater good situation. Like we all win at the end of the day with that.
Yeah, there's as you're kind of saying that, I'm trying to think of like, because me, like I like to argue, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, wait, but, and I'm trying to think of an argument of like when someone would want a $2 shirt. And now that I really think about it, when you put it that way, it's like, oh, maybe nobody needs a $2 shirt. I mean, I don't know,
It's easy from like I'm doing a 5K as a business, and like I need 1 billion shirts, and it's easy to look at the bottom dollar and be like, okay, yeah, we're giving these out for free. We're not going to make money off of it, so let's go with this. But the truth is, like, no one's going to get your messaging out. No one's going to wear it. You're really wasting your money there.
Yeah.
In my real life example, I had this company that did me dirty. I didn't even get paid. I still have their shirt they gave me because it is OG vintage American Apparel tri-blend from
back when they were great.
2001, And it's like, I still have that, though I would never tell anybody to use this company. But I still have it because it's the quality of the shirt.
A good shirt's a good
I'm
shirt.
not going to get rid of that. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep, dude, that is so funny. And I like what you said about they're wasting money. Like, let's say the difference between a cheap shirt and a good shirt on your overall order is $2,000 to it's not, but $3,000. We'll just say for sake of my dumb, simple math, right?
Yeah.
You can either spend an extra $3 and have people actually like this stuff and use it, or save $1,000. Nobody wears that crap, and then you lost $2,000.
Yeah.
Like man, once you kind of put it that way, it's like, oh, you're not just spending a little bit more; you're actually saving yourself from wasting that whole $2,000. Yeah, wow, that's incredible. It's crazy when you think about it from like an advertising standpoint versus this is just a line item on my spreadsheet kind of thing.
Yeah, And I also get it like in the everyday sense too. Like if you want to even break it down for like crafting, if I'm making a shirt for loved ones, like family Christmas shirts or like a vacation shirt, it's very easy to go, well, I got to go with this cheaper shirt because I'm going to make 6 of them. But you're putting all this hard work and effort into it, and you're giving it as a gift, and you want your family to keep wearing the thing. And the way to ensure that is by also getting a better shirt. That's the one that they're going to keep wearing for years and years and years and really cherish that moment and that memory.
Yeah, that's so true. On a side note, if I may, if you guys are making shirts for people to go to Disney World in Florida, please use a good shirt. Like, nobody wants to be in that Florida heat and you're ugly, crazy.
And it doesn't fit good, and then it's scratchy.
And now they have a bad memory from your vacation shirts that you made. Yeah, use a good shirt, guys. Yeah. Man, so all of this sounds like something that's really just designed with the end person in mind, which I guess makes a lot of sense considering that the founders were screen printers. Can you, I don't know, are there any like fun like little tidbits or things that you could share, like other additional steps that Bell Canvas takes to just really get behind the creators?
Well, right now we're actually doing, it's perfect that you asked me that. We're doing a community stories series.
Love it.
So like each month we're featuring a different real life community story. So we just did one for the LA Derby dolls, which is the roller derby.
Oh, okay, that's fun. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really cool. Their merch is on Bella Canvas, and there's local coffee shops and musicians that are all using the Bella Canvas as their merch and go-to apparel. And it's one of my favorite things to do at events. Is people get mad at me. I always have to check out the merch. I'm like, oh, I think this might be Bella Canvas.
Flipping the collar.
So yeah. And there's been times even where I've been talking to someone and they're wearing a Broadway musical T-shirt, like that merch, and I knew from the color black that it was our black.
That's like, so funny that you know. And I'll say this: they have a really great black, you guys. Your guys' black is really black.
Yeah, it's real true. Some companies they can fade, or not fade, but they can skew red or skew green, and you've seen that especially as it starts to fade.
It almost looks brown.
Yeah,
after a
you'll
while.
See that color come through, and ours is a true black. So we really are proud of that, and that is our number one seller is our black. So.
Yeah, and to just detour for a second about that, do me a favor, you guys. Go to wherever you're going to go. Buy 5 different T-shirts from 5 different people. Buy them all in black, and you'll see exactly what we mean by this. And you'll find that Bella Canvas is, if not the blackest or deepest or richest, among the richest. Like it's that's one thing that I first noticed when I started using Bella Canvas was just how nice the black was.
Oh yeah.
And you think you have a black shirt until you realize that, oh no, this is a black shirt.
Yeah. It's been on red carpets. We have photos from designers that are supplementing like their outfit with our 3001 black. Wow. So yeah, it's like them out there with the jackets and all this stuff on these huge runways and red carpets wearing Bella Canvas. Yeah, it's crazy. Uh-huh.
Wow, that's exciting. Okay, sorry to detour. I had to just talk about that. People, I feel like there's some things that, especially for our customers and our viewers who are just starting up in their businesses, there's things you don't know until you find out, right? You don't know you don't know what you don't know. And so for me, I remember sourcing the cheapest black T-shirts when I would get started, and it was satisfactory. It's like, okay, it doesn't feel horrible. It's not great.
Yeah.
The black, okay, it's blackish. It's black enough for this, right? Until you go and you see, like, that's what a shirt's supposed to look like.
Right, yeah. I did the same thing when I was starting my print-on-demand shop. I spent so much money that I didn't have ordering samples, and, you don't know the differences between tri-blends and CVCs and 100% cotton and what's what and the fits. And so, yeah, you do that, and it's crazy the differences that are out there. And a lot of people know, even in the printing world, like the polyester holds certain inks and stuff different ways, and so there's a lot of different steps to figuring out that. One thing that's really cool I found out when I started at Bella Canvas was that we actually partner with print shops to test everything before we release it. So the colors, the materials, that's all already been run through to make sure that it is a good printable product. And we even have printing resources on our site so people can see, stuff for whatever they're doing.
And that's actually a good segue for it's another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. So like your guys' YouTube channel, right, is awesome. It's chock full of like content. And what I didn't even realize was you guys are just a little bit over 70,000, which is awesome for a corporate channel. Because you're like me, we produce content for not ourselves, right? For a company, right? It's really hard to get followers on a corporate channel. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
I'll just say that. But you guys are leaps and bounds. I'm not trying to put anyone down, but if you go and look up the other T-shirt manufacturers, we're talking like people have like 2K, 4K like subscribers. It's very hard, especially for the space that you're in, to get subscribers. a lot of your content is focused on your customer.
Yeah. We really try to make that a great resource for people, especially decorators that are out there. If you're a small business or even a big business that's doing screen printing or any other type of major decoration like that, we want to be able to have those examples there because, like we mentioned, it can be tricky printing on tri-blends or when you start having mixed materials, and so we want to be able to have those tips and tools there to help people out. So,
I think that's great because there's some times where people like they might you have a failed print and you're like, stupid shirt, but really you just didn't know how to handle that shirt.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's a lot of trial and error that I'm sure any decorator out there knows about.
Yes.
And that can be costly on your part when you're trying to do that. So it is important for us to have those resources and tools to, again, be able to help support the creative or entrepreneur, whoever's out there doing the thing.
Yeah, I absolutely love that because, again, I want to say not a lot of other companies do that, but in your space, I feel like almost nobody is putting out that content to support their user, who's going to then support their user. Right. It's like we're 2 degrees, because Heat Press Nation as well, like our content mostly supports our customers who need to support their customers. So we're like 2 degrees away from the end user, and I don't know, I just think it's a really interesting place to be.
Yeah. What are some of your struggles that you pop up with when you're trying to figure out like the content and what you need to do for your channel?
Man, trying to figure out who's the third degree.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, because we know, I feel like I know as a printer, I know other printers, right? I know other heat pressers. I don't always know who they're selling to.
Oh right.
So when I want to produce content, because I write a lot of the content, when I want to produce that, it's like, okay, but how am I going to help them?
Right.
Like I can help you second degree. How am I going to help you help third?
Yeah.
So it just takes a lot more just thinking and research and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, that is pretty tough.
Yeah, you're like the first one to ask me a question on this podcast. I feel like, oh, cool. No, that's cool. I'm like, hey, maybe I want to be a guest now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a whole podcast where I just interview myself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's fun answering questions. Yeah. Oh man.
Cool.
Dude, yeah, so Ballot Canvas, man, like I feel like it's like a whole world here. Mm-hmm. Everybody seems really happy, which is interesting, and kind of taking it back to like really investing in the people here. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. Like, I imagine you enjoy your job?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
it's really
maybe?
great. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
It is crazy. It is, every now and again, I do take a step back and I'm like, oh, wait, this is like a corporate job.
Yeah.
Even though I can show up in sweat clothes and whatever.
This is regular.
Yeah. So that's pretty great. But yeah, the company culture is really great. Ever since the time I started here, people have always talked highly of their colleagues and coworkers, and that's kind of a top-down situation. That's kind of the culture that has been set up over time by executives and then upheld by upper management, and it trickles down a lot. So it is really nice to have that work family, especially when you spend the majority of your time here.
Yes.
But yeah, we have, besides having great employees that are your colleagues, there's great things that we can experience together. Like we have our Zen garden here, so we can all take lunch together and sit outside and have a little babbling spring, and we have misters, and it's just a nice moment to have. And it's so nice to sit outside, especially when we're here in LA. Besides this week and the week before, it's
we're in a heat wave right now, guys.
Yeah. And we have a gym on campus, which is so nice for people to be able to take a lunch break, or they come in early and hit the gym, and there's showers there. And me and some of the girls on my team will go together after work and all work out. And it's just kind of a fun way to debrief while also exercising.
Yeah.
And that's always good for your mental health too, to know that you're taking care of yourself. I don't know whenever you get into like whether it's a eating good trend or exercising trend or whatever, you just feel better,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Yes.
Because you know that you're working on yourself. You're treating yourself well, and that makes you feel good. And so it's nice to have that kind of support here, too.
Having those resources available. Yeah, man, that's really awesome. Yeah. That's one thing I noticed here. I was like, okay, they actually do care about people here. Lots of very resource rich, I would say. This facility is very resource rich. And kind of to that point, we got to tour. I don't know how much of this we'll keep on here, but we got to tour Building 2.
Yeah.
Okay, that was insane. Talking about all of the things that go into a Bella Canvas product.
Right.
It's not just like someone writes on a napkin, here, sew that. Like,
right. Yeah.
Can you talk just a little bit about the process for developing new products? Because that's one thing that you guys are very, very good at.
Yeah.
Is rolling out new products. But then as I got to see the actual resources behind it, I was like, they really care. Like, it's incredible. Can you kind of talk to us about that process?
Sure, yeah. So typically if there's like a trend in retail happening right now, it takes like 3 to 4 years for that to make its way over to wholesale. And then at the rate that our world moves now, then by the time it's in wholesale, it's no longer the trend anymore in retail. And so at Bella Canvas, since we do everything really in-house, including our design work, we're able to move on trends a lot quicker. And so we do have a team. They know what colors are in style and in season. They know what silhouettes people are wearing and wanting. And we're able to develop and design those with quick turnaround times so that you, as whatever part of the business or creative you're in, are able to offer like retail ready on trend blanks to your customers. Or if I'm a coffee shop, I can sell the same style shirt that, you know, my customers are selling at Urban Outfitters, or, you know, now I can be the cool coffee shop that has cool merch, or the cool music, you know, act that has something that people are buying from the mall.
Yeah, and Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but like as a print shop, having access to those kinds of blanks oftentimes means getting the sale or not.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's incredible to be able to tell a customer like, hey, you want, because I've been there. I haven't ran a shop in a little while, although I do from time to time. Like right now, I'm more of consulting with like friends brands.
Yeah.
So I don't have my own shop anymore. But just when people find out that they can have a shirt look exactly like what they're finding, the same silhouette, the same colorways, the same fits, same things that Supreme is doing, same thing that Stussy is doing, especially because streetwear is so huge right now, that new kind of urban style. Like when people find that they can have the same like mineral wash or you know, garment dye, that faded look. Yeah. When people find out they could do that too, for their own small brands, for their run of, 2 dozen, 50, 100 pieces. Yeah. It's very empowering, especially to the print shops, or even to my customers at Heat Press Nation when they find out about Bella Canvas and like, what, you mean I can get those shirts wholesale? Like, yes, you can. It's very empowering, and it directly relates to sales.
Yeah,
to being able to book more jobs.
Yeah, it does. And especially probably a lot of your customers that are having to be the promotional product sales rep as well as the decorator at the same time. It's so helpful just to know the resources that you have in products. So I've mentioned it in terms of like schools before, like high schools. Like let's say your kid is involved in high school, so that's your foot into the school. Well, imagine you being able to go to the cheerleading sponsor or the band sponsor and offer our like baby tee collection and be like, this is what the kids are wearing, this is what they want now, or our heavyweight collection. And they're now like, oh yeah, like we have cheer camp coming up, we have band camp coming up, oh, our homecoming pep rally, like we need this shirt and this shirt. And now you've created this whole like resource empire of yourself that's now the go-to for this school. And so that's great that you can then take that around that kind of business structure and model, and then you can hit up the local dance school or this thing, and you can be like the guy or woman, like the powerful person in your community that is the go-to for like the stylish on-trend designs and apparel and all that stuff.
And speaking of schools, we have the rainbow kind of behind us.
Oh,
would you say 300 colors?
Yeah, over 300 colors.
Over 300 colors. That's where that really comes into play, because every school, it seems, has just a different shade of blue, or they have just a different idea of what royal blue is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So having so many different options is just really empowering our customers to empower their customers. It just goes all the way down the chain, and I really like respect that about the brand.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really cool.
My school is purple, and it's like a very specific purple. And you see, like, we'd get other shirts in school, and we're like, this isn't like wanna. But then I came here, I'm like, that's it, that's the one. Even all these years later, I'm about to have a number high school reunion. I won't say which one, but I'm like, this is it. Team
Your
Purple.
5-year reunion, right?
5-year reunion.
5-year, yeah. Of course. We're the same age. We're 5 years, yeah.
So yeah, it is pretty cool. And then even I'm from Alabama, so college football is huge.
Yes.
And I've spent so much time with our color card, like looking through, finding like the school colors, and yeah, it's really cool. Even if you're again like in a small town, like let's say you're in College Station, Texas, and you want to make some low-key, off-brand Texas A&M stuff, like you can do that.
A Go Sports t-shirt.
Yeah,
Go Sports. Yeah, having all these resources, again, is just super valuable. Is there anything that I'm kind of missing, like things that people like should be aware of, resources from Bella Canvas that you feel might be underrated or people should be taking more advantage of?
Well, a huge one on our website that a lot of people, I think, would find helpful is our Shop by Color tool.
Oh, yes.
So
Speaking
really
of
big.
color, geez, yeah. How does that work?
You can go through and basically land on a color and see what all products are in that color. And it's broken down by however you need it for yourself. So you can do it by hues. So it'll be like, neutrals and whatever, tans and browns. And you click on it and it's like, here's this whole gambit, or like reds and oranges, and you can see all those. So it helps you see a bird's eye view all the colors that are offered. And if color is really big for you, like you're commissioned to do this one piece and this is the color they need, you can then narrow it down and see what your product options are off of that one color.
Yeah, and I guess we should mention that like the black you use for your adult men's t-shirt or the 3001, the same black that they're going to be able to find on a baby's shirt, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's the same. So if there's one color name, it's going to be the same across whatever is available in that product.
Yeah, right. It's always best because we don't carry all colors in all the things, so it's helpful to pick your youngest member first, and then that will be in the other ones as well. So if there's a specific blue and you want it in the baby onesie, then that will be available in the youth, the women's, men's, that way. But yeah, that's also important for people that are doing family reunions, trips to Disney or whatever. So always start with your smallest member that you're trying to outfit and go up from there.
Because it is funny seeing the family pictures and it's like 3 different shades of red. And you're like,
okay. We just did what we could there, I see. Yeah.
They did their best.
Yeah.
What do they say? Bless their heart.
Yeah, bless their heart.
Bless
That's
their
what we say. Another great resource, especially if you're trying to take products around to customers or maybe have a little mini showroom that you bring people into, you can download our hang tags and print those out yourself to put onto the product. That has helpful information there, like what all colors it comes in, things like that. And it also has like the fabric, makeup, and all that. If you've ever been to our booths at a trade show, those tags that you see hanging on the products, those are resources for you as well. As a business owner, you can just download those for free, print them out.
But I will say, if you guys find yourself at a trade show and you see the Bell Canvas booth, do not skip it. First of all, it's always a great party.
Yeah, it's always a party.
You guys, their booth is popping. But there are so many colors and materials. I feel like I go through the whole booth like this. Yeah. I'm just touching all the shirts and all the different, you guys have the fleece and you guys have like the different thicknesses, the different materials. And if you hear words thrown around like CVC or tri-blend and you're like, what does that even mean? Mm-hmm. You can go and look and feel it and find out for yourself. So it's really cool. Or if you're not going out to a trade show, hey, go buy a few samples.
Get some samples.
Yeah, get some samples. Yeah. I love it. One thing I noticed here at the facility, everywhere it seems I see be different, be different, be different. That's your guys' like motto, right?
Yeah, that's our motto. Yeah, be different. We kind of use that as like the North Star. And it's been like that from day one, back from the screen printing business to even starting the women's line first. It's out of a necessity of being different. No one was making those women's clothes.
Right.
Now we have that. And we follow that through for everything. We lead the way in a lot of different things. A few years ago, we were the first ones to come out with a crop sweatshirt. And then it was like the next year, everybody
has those. Yeah.
But we did it first.
Yeah.
And same thing with our mauve color. We came out with mauve, and the next year, everybody had it.
Yes.
So we do that and to keep ourselves on track as be different. We use it for picking colors for our silhouettes, and we also want to use that to help inspire other people. If you're out there, an influencer, a creator, a designer, like we want to encourage you to be different because that's how you are going to be successful. I'm sure you'll see on social media sometimes a lot of influencers in the decorating space. You'll see lots of the same designs and the same this and the same process.
Yeah.
And I get it because you're also honing your craft and figuring out how to do things, but you're going to break away when you find out how you are going to be different. And the truth is we all are different. It's just figuring out how to be proud of that and how to tap into that. If I wanted to start a podcast for Bella Canvas, it's not going to be just like yours because you already got that covered. So now you're making it harder for me. I got to figure out something else to do. But yeah, we do stick to be different and encourage other people to be different. And that's really when the stars align for you.
Definitely, man. I couldn't agree more. And I really appreciate that sentiment, that thought. Because so many times, like, yes, there's money to be made by, and I hate saying this, there's money to be made by copying, right?
Yeah, totally.
Right? But if you want to like break out, and if you kind of want to make an impact, and if you want to be more, you got to be different. You got to just do your own thing.
Yep.
And like tap into that inner creativity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Man, I really like that, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's really great, and it's cool to see leadership follow through by that, and especially cool and fun to see our design team that's coming up with the silhouettes.
Yes.
We have some new styles and maybe some new fabrications coming out in the next year. So be on the lookout for stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you gotta stay fresh and stay with it. So yeah. That's cool.
You mentioned that where people can find you at the trade shows. I think I'm going to be seeing you next in Las Vegas.
Yeah. For Printing United, we'll be there for that.
Yeah.
So I'll be floating around. That's in September. And then, the big ones every year for us are the Impressions and Expo in Long Beach and PPAI in Las Vegas. Those are January. Those are kind of like the big, we always call it the Super Bowl of our industry. So, we'll be there, and the booths are always so much fun. And we usually do something cool in there for you to get a nice little takeaway and, put a money where our mouth is when it comes to creating, giveaways that people want to keep and have, and so you can kind of get an in-person example.
Well, it's Bella Canvas, so you know it's going to feel great.
Yeah,
you know it's going to fit nice. Yeah. Man, that's exciting. Is there any new products maybe that we can tease? Should people be stopping by the booth expecting something different?
Well, yeah, you'll just have to show up and see.
You got to go. Okay.
We do have, this year we dropped our heavyweight collection. And that's something we're going to continue to lean into.
Those feel fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, they feel really great, and it's very on trend for what the society at large is wanting right now. So it's interesting to see the company kind of, we're known for super soft, even lightweight fabric, and so for us to bring the Bella Canvas trusted manufacturing into a different style and silhouette, it's really cool to see happen. We have heavyweight, and I think we'll continue to dive deeper into that as society continues to lead the way on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wes, man, thank you so much for taking the time, not just to sit down and talk to us here on this podcast, but really for the tour today, for everything, for hosting us. You guys are awesome, and being able to see the operation, I just have a whole brand new appreciation for your product and what you guys do. And I'm sure our viewers are going to come up with the same appreciation as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming by. We love to take people on tours and show them. It's so easy to see a shirt on a hanger or on a shelf, and you don't really think too much about how it's made. And so it's cool to be able to peel back the magic curtain and show how it's done.
Yeah, awesome. So, well, again, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Customizing Culture Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Jared Barbosa, and today we're joined by our very special guest hosting us here at the Bella Canvas factory in Los Angeles, California, Wes Tate. Wes, again, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.